Let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like you know a ton of English words, but you're not always 100% sure you're using the right one? Well, today we're going to unlock a secret to mastering the language that goes way beyond just memorizing definitions. We're going to dive into the amazing power of word families.
Okay, so picture this. You're writing something and you get stuck. Should you use chase, pursue, track, or trace? I mean, they all kind of mean to follow, right? But here's the thing. They are absolutely not the same. This is exactly why a simple dictionary definition just doesn't cut it if you want to sound natural. So what's the secret?
The key, really, is to stop seeing words as these lonely little islands. Instead, start seeing them as members of a big, connected family. They share kind of DNA. They're related through their meaning, their form, and how we use them. Once you start seeing these connections, picking the right word stops feeling like a pop quiz and starts to feel, well, it just clicks. All right, let's kick things off with our first family, the action heroes of English. These are the doing words, the verbs and their relatives that describe movement, change, and just generally making things happen. So let's crack open that first puzzle we had. The tiny differences here are all about context. You chase a mouse, right? It's fast, it's urgent, it's happening right now. But you pursue a dream. That's a long-term journey. A detective will track a suspect forward from a crime scene, but an analyst will trace a call backward to find where it started. See? The direction and the time frame are literally built into the word itself.
Oh, this is a classic pair you'll see everywhere. To revise is the action. It's the verb. It's the doing part. A revision is the result. It's the noun, the thing you have after you're done. This whole action and outcome pattern is a basic building block for so many word families in English. Once you see it, I promise you're going to start noticing it all over the place. Now, these two both mean to make less, but honestly, they live in completely different worlds. You can reduce your stress, you can reduce your spending. It's a very general purpose word, but you deduct an expense from your taxes. It's a very precise mathematical kind of subtraction, and it's almost always used when we're talking about money. You'd never say you're deducting your stress, right? It just sounds off.
Okay, so we've covered the doing words. Let's switch gears and talk about the words that describe the state of things. These are the words of condition, the adjectives that really paint a picture of how people, places, and things are. This is just a perfect example of the power of a tiny little prefix. Something stable is solid, it's secure, but you just slap un on the front and bam, you get its exact opposite. Unstable. And what's cool is that this works for a real physical thing, like a wobbly ladder, but it also works for huge abstract ideas, like an unstable economy. It's such a simple and powerful trick to create opposite. Here's another really powerful pair. Just think about the root words for a second. Constructive feedback helps you construct something better. It literally builds you up. But destructive comments? Well, they're meant to destroy. They just tear things down. The entire intention is different, and it all comes from that simple root meaning. Okay, now, be careful with this word. It's got some real weight to it. When you call something pathetic, you're not just saying it's sad. You're saying it's so weak and so inadequate that it makes you feel this weird, uncomfortable mix of two emotions at once, pity for the failure and a little bit of contempt for the weakness. And this example just hits the nail on the head. The lie isn't just a sad thing, it's pathetic because it was such a weak, clumsy, and failing attempt. You kind of feel sorry for the person, but at the same time you also lose a little respect for them. That's the core of this word, that mix of pity and disdain. And this brings us to a really important family member. Pity is a pure emotion. It's that feeling of sympathy and sorrow you have for someone else's suffering. But pathetic? That's pity with a sharp edge. It's pity plus a layer of contempt. You can definitely feel pity for someone without finding them pathetic, and that is a really powerful difference. For our final section, we're going to climb up the ladder of abstraction. We're moving away from simple actions and conditions and into the really big ideas, the words we use to build societies, to communicate with each other, and to understand our place in the world. Dignity. Now, this is a big one. It's a fundamental concept. It's that built-in quality of being worthy of respect. You know, it's not about being proud or arrogant. It's deeper. It's that sense of self-worth and seriousness that a person carries with them. And right here, that tiny little prefix in does so much heavy lifting. And indignity isn't just the lack of dignity. It's an act, it's an event, or a type of treatment that is an attack on someone's sense of worth. It's designed to make someone feel shame and humiliation. It's a violation of their dignity. I love this table because it's a perfect example of a word family that's separated by formality. The best way to think about it is like a ladder. On the bottom rung, you've got manners. That's your personal, everyday stuff, like chewing with your mouth closed. One step up, you have etiquettes. Those are the specific rules for a certain group, like business etiquette. And way at the top, you have protocol, the super strict official rules for things like a royal wedding or a military ceremony.
So these three words all mean honest, but man, do they have a different flavor. Being direct is neutral. A doctor is direct when giving you a diagnosis. Being frank, well, that can sting a little. Your best friend might give you some frank advice that you don't really want to hear. But being upfront is almost always seen as a good thing. It means you're being honest about something difficult right from the start.
So, we've talked about actions, states, and these big abstract ideas. What's the one huge lesson we can take away from all of this? What does it all really mean for the way we communicate every day? It all boils down to this. Knowing a word's family makes every single word you use more powerful. You don't just know a definition, you know how, where, and when to use it for maximum impact. So the next time you learn a new word, don't just stop at what it means. Get curious. Ask yourself, what's its opposite? What's the verb form? Who are its cousins, and how are they different? That curiosity, that's the real key. So that's our look at word families. You see, understanding these connections doesn't just make your vocabulary bigger. It gives your communication incredible power and precision. So the question I'll leave you with is this. What idea will you explain with more clarity and precision today? Thanks for tuning in.